just start this shit. Welcome to the Neon Valley Podcast.
Neon Valley Podcast.
Neon Valley, episode 12. Up in this piece. What's going on? How you doing?
It is going on. That's what's going on.
Oof, it is going on, Mitchell. You are correct. I didn't open the website I wanted to before we started. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's been a busy week, but that's a great thing. Signed up for a golf tournament, so I'll be doing that in July.
Oh shit! Don't tell Audrey. And
Yup.
I think literally, I think we've started almost every week of this podcast by saying how we're doing, and we both say, busy week. It's been just busy week. And
that's because we're adults now.
I know, right? And it's usually only Sunday or Monday when we say that. So it's like, which are we? Did it just start? Is it just ending? Who knows? You know.
I did do one, I think, more exciting thing that you don't get to do all the time. I got to let Strahini and Jordan know that they're going to be the godparents for our daughter Aries. So we're very excited about that.
Woo woo! That's awesome. Congrats, Strahini. No, that's awesome, man. That's creeping up, isn't it? I mean, goddamn.
Yes, it'll be in August.
Jeez, good lord. Godspeed, my friend.
The fast speed ever.
I was about to give context and say that you're having a baby, but I feel like if people can't piece that together by you saying you made them their godparents, that's their fault, right? Like that's on
Yeah,
them.
there's other things going on.
So
shame on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Shame on them.
Shame on them. So okay, before we get into talking about some of the actual topics we brought to the table today, I went onto ChatGPT. We've talked about this in a previous episode, our good old friend AI. And I was curious to how well it would give a prompt for podcasters. I was like, what would it do for like a topic?
I've thought about this. Interesting. I'm glad you actually did it.
Yeah, because I was like, if I'm not too specific, but give it just enough, will it actually give me something, or will it just give me bullshit? You know, your very basic blech, whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, it gave me like 10 responses, like ideas for episodes, and I think we're a little bit too much of a free-flowing show to really do some of these, because they're very like analytical sounding one. You know, like they feel like they hone in on one topic, you know, solely.
I gotcha.
But there's some good ones, man. Like, here, listen to this one. They give like a title, and then they give an example of what you would say, or not say, but like the description of the episode, you know? Oh, and real quick, I'll say what I put the prompt in as. So I told ChatGPT, I said, come up with topics for two podcasters to talk about. These two podcasters are 29-year-old males, and they make music. The podcast isn't about music, but they talk about it sometimes. The podcast mainly focuses on pop culture, movies, and random topics. So, you know, I'm giving it a gambit. It can really do anything, but it's still, I'm kind of giving it some kind of idea, you know?
Right, yeah.
So the first one is Nostalgia Trip, exploring the impact of 90s culture. Right, like, not bad. Like, really,
okay,
like, not
yeah, that's definitely topical.
Like, if I came to you and was like, hey, I want to talk about, like, 90s, like, how the 90s has influenced culture today. Like, I doubt you would be like, that's something AI would come up with. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm like, what are you, a robot?
Yeah. The evolution of superhero movies from campy to epic. Look, they're even coming up with little, like, catchy titles and stuff.
Wow.
The power of memes, how internet culture shapes the world. Cinematic gems, underrated movies you need to watch. That's basically what we do. That's our podcast.
What? Bro, who? I'm telling you, they've been listening to us for years.
Yeah, we're just the ringers. Dude, I
don't know who they are, but they have.
Yeah, this AI shit's scary, man.
Spooky, scary.
It's a little too serious, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just still reading through some of these. Okay. So you mentioned right before we started recording, it might even be still in there. Bit of that iDubbbz controversy going on, right? You know a lot more about it though.
Yeah, so from what I read on a Twitter thread, which lets you know right off the bat how fully informed I am of the situation, he did an apology video, but more than that, he took down all his old videos that he was apologizing for,
Oh.
and pretty much said that that kind of stuff wasn't what he actually believes,
Okay.
and that he had gone as far to say like he deeply regrets and he understands that him apologizing will not make an impact necessarily in terms of, fixing the situation, but that, he wants to be more on the side of an advocate for being a better person, and looking back and seeing that was not correct at the time. So awesome. He took down the videos that he said like these were all wrong, that 2016 era of YouTube.
Yeah.
He just said, that it wasn't right under any circumstances.
Okay.
And his fan base is mad, pretty much saying, you taught us to be this way. Why are you changing now? So
Okay.
kind of goes back to that prior conversation we have about artists, trying to branch out. But now you have someone who's genuinely trying to be a better person, make better choices, and the quote that I saw from the thread, and if I can find it, I'll add the name of the person who said it, but they pretty much said it's like Dr. Frankenstein trying to convince his monster to grow up, pretty much. That's not the way you treat people, and that was wrong. And again,
but the metaphor being that he's the direct cause, quote unquote. He's the creator.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole thing about it saying that he was the catalyst for it.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm sorry. Wait, was there more? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
There was, but again, it was more of just this person. This person seemed to very much say, like, I condemn him for what he did in that era, but I consider this to be a very genuine apology in terms of, like, went as far as to actually take down the videos and not just say, well, it's what was popular at that time, or that was that era, It wasn't that I felt that way.
Oh, okay.
It was just that time. And so they were saying, from that perspective, I appreciate the sincere apology, and it kind of sets a new standard for when you make a mistake trying to correct it. But it was also just that realization of you are now going to be responsible for what you started as a joke back then.
Yeah.
And again, YouTube hasn't been around that long. It might feel like it to maybe younger generations, but there was a whole period of my childhood that YouTube didn't exist. So for him, it's like he didn't know. He was a kid at that time. Again, not to excuse it,
No.
and not to say that it was everything was right, but just to say like he had no idea that he was a figure in, I guess, that YouTube generation.
Yeah, because no, I agree with you. I don't blame him necessarily, like, for saying the things he did back then. Like, I know it's always easy to just say, oh, it was a different time, and like, but a lot of times it was, and for the most part, iDubbbz is a kind of special case, and has always kind of been, at least in my opinion, because he always did it almost like as commentary on why you shouldn't be saying that shit, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously some of it was very problematic. That was beyond just him saying like the N-word and like shit like that. You know what I mean? Where it falls on the conversation of like him creating a generation of people who act like that, I don't think that's necessarily fair. I think no matter what, it is a byproduct. It is something that happens, and it's something we need to like talk about and figure out. But at the same time, it's like he's not his brother's keeper. He's not like, when he makes a joke video, it's kind of like you were saying, he's not intending for millions of kids to then follow his lifestyle. He's not Andrew Tate, who's trying to get kids to literally follow his life,
Right. Same kind of thing with Eminem, when he even then references later on in the songs, like, we just rap about it in songs and then collect our checks. Like, this is a whole separate life. So like, okay, just tell the judge it was my fault, and they'll come after, like, pretty much saying, like, you just blame me, I guess. It's my fault for
scapegoat.
the fact you're not being parents.
Yeah.
So again, there's a lot of factors there.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing too, is I consumed iDubbbz. I watched a lot of him in like that mid 2000s era, like, you know, Cody, Alex, they were the ones who showed me him, and Filthy Frank, who became like Joji, you know, and all that shit.
It's so crazy that I had no idea who he was until you showed me one of the videos.
Yeah, like his Content Cop videos, iDubbbz, like those are classics. Like, and I'm sure maybe one or two of those he might have taken down because he probably said something problematic in them. Yeah, it's interesting.
He might have taken them all down.
What would you say?
I said he might have taken them all down.
Oh, damn.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was that dramatic of, like, and it's part of the reason I think so many people were from his fan base, like, what?
Yeah, and
I'm
you know,
scrolling on this page right now to see if I see any Content Cop.
Because I was going to say, he also might not have wanted to bother watching all of his stuff to figure out what video he said something fucked up in. So he was like, just get rid of them all. Just screw it.
I mean, true, you do so many years of videos like that. That's kind of hard. Oh, dude, I don't see a single video titled Content Cop, and it already says 8 years ago.
Wow. That's
I see
crazy.
Kickstarter crap, bad unboxing. Yeah, I think he just pulled all that.
That's crazy, because yeah, those are pretty like those are safe videos. It's just him literally like making fun of a Kickstarter or like unboxing stuff, you know. So yeah, it's not too it doesn't get dicey. I mean, maybe because you'll have to give me some more context on exactly what he felt was problematic, because I know he says everything and anything, and that's always kind of been his brand. It's whatever. But is he also kind of referring to maybe even like bullying? Like, does he consider some of the Content Cop stuff like just him trashing people online for no reason?
Well, I guess, yeah, with the Content Cop, they were saying in that thread that a lot of people quit their YouTube, their careers were ruined because of the way he talked about them. So they were saying he ruined a lot of people's careers starting out, and they never got a chance just because of his videos, which were him, again, the kind of half joking, half just pointing stuff out, but it was enough that people lost their channels, I guess, in what I was reading from the thread. No, I should read the apology video. I should watch the apology video.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I should check it out, because I am fascinated. I saw it pop up on my feed the other day. I just didn't get around to like looking into it more. I just kind of saw the backlash that some of his fans were mad that he was apologizing and all that stuff. But now I get why. I can see. But yeah, I don't think that for those people that's a fair. I think it's just a scapegoat. It's pointing at something else and being like, well, it's your fault I act this way. And it's like, well, no, I feel like there's a million other factors that could have changed that. You know?
Yeah.
And also, if you have the wherewithal to say, well, you're the reason I act this way, what, I'm supposed to act different? It's like, okay, then yes. Like, if you were already acting that way because one person lived their life this certain way, well, keep doing that. And now be a better person because he's trying to be a better person. You know, like, fuck it. You live by your own logic then.
You would assume.
Yeah, you would hope. You would assume. Damn, that's insane. Because to put it in context, that would be like, let's say our podcast, one of the episodes like just blows up, and it's an episode where we are just ripping into a movie or something, and then that director never makes a movie ever again because they got ostracized by this one fucking video that blew up, or, you know, sound clip or whatever.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I would feel like really bad. Like, I think a younger me would shirk it off and be like, well, he's just a shitty director, so that's his fucking fault. But that now that's like, oh no, well, you know, hold on.
It's someone's livelihood, and it's something that you don't even necessarily feel so passionately about, where you're like, they don't deserve to work. You're just I just made comments on something for a video. Yeah,
and usually for comedic effect, you know, like I'm.
Oh yeah.
And because you know me, like it's on. I would say you are a little bit more, especially when we're reviewing the movies. You're a little bit more leveled. You come at it from a, let's say, realistic angle, and I do that as well. Oh, go ahead.
I think I represent the average moviegoer.
There you go. I sometimes try to play up the kind of like overly critical movie watcher because I think I like having that conversation because a lot of the times people walk out of movies and they just go, "Yeah, it was pretty good." And it's like, "Yeah, that was pretty good." Yeah. And then that's it. And I kind of hate that. So I almost don't mind being the devil's advocate who's like, yeah, but that one scene was kind of weird, right? It didn't really work. And then it gets people talking where they go, well, yeah, it did. So it's like, even if they don't agree with me, at least we're talking about the movie.
Right, yeah, because at the end of the day, like, if you watch a movie and go, all right, nice, and then you don't talk about it with someone, it left no impact on you. Like, at least leave an impact on people.
Yeah, exactly. At least have some, and that might already just be a sign it's not a good movie. You know what I mean? So it's like right there, but then they keep letting these movies get made, and anyway. Yeah, I couldn't imagine having that kind of influence on such a big group of people, you know, and then having to kind of come to terms with that as you get older. Because I mean, shit, I think he was only 17 or 18 when his channel was really blown up. So maybe even younger.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's crazy.
That's insane. All right. Okay. So I had one more little conversation I thought we could have. It might be interesting. What's the best superpower?
Oh, the best superpower.
Mm-hmm. If you had to pick one, and because you know, like, and we're going basics here. Like, I don't think we can't just like make up a power. You know what I mean? Like, oh, make money out of thin air. You know, that's not a superpower.
Man, this is gonna be really tough because not only, as you know, I'm a huge anime fan, so I watch a lot of different kind of animes. But I've been watching a lot of. Shout out to the site Comics Explained. It's a YouTube channel that reviews comics, and he'll do a summary, or he'll say too powerful for the Marvel universe, and he'll do a power scale and explain why this character is so powerful. So
yeah, I've seen those. I think I've watched a few of his videos like before going into a Marvel movie, just to be more familiar with the comic. You know, I'll be like, oh, I haven't read those,
that's a good idea.
I'll read the.
But yeah, so because of that, there's so many powers and abilities in a short period of time that I've familiarized myself with, and there's one specific ability that because we need to set some ground rules on this.
Okay.
Are we talking like a superhero? So it has to be somebody from a comic. Are we talking just like, or like it can't be a villain? Are we talking just a power that is like the most overpowered in terms of if you had a super ability?
So yeah, I didn't want to. That's so weird. I was about to read this as if it was a question someone asked us or presented to us, and then I realized I wrote this in my notes. So I was about to be like, yeah, well, I don't think they really specified whether or not, and then I realized I wrote this fucking. No, I'm just saying superpower. So no, not hero, villain, delineation. Doesn't necessarily have to be comic book. It could be anime. It could be manga. It could be anything. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it has to be one central power. You know what I mean? So it's like super strength, invisibility, super speed, you know, things like that. Heat vision or something. You know, one specific power that, that doesn't boil down to like just one specific power.
All right. So the one that but the question is, what do I think is the best power?
Yes. Yeah. So what do you think is the best power? Like, I wouldn't even say your favorite. I'm not even asking your favorite right now. I'm saying what is the best superpower? Okay.
So there's a power that was just recently displayed in the Boruto series. And it's pretty much omnipotence. The character has the ability to change how things work. So,
oh god, this is too obscure. Okay, but hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. If you explain it well, but just the description of they can change anything for how they work. Like, what does that mean?
Okay. So let me give the example of what happened in the series, and I think this is a really cool way that Kishimoto wrote the story. So for backstory reference. the big thing about the Naruto Sasuke, rivalry was Sasuke was Naruto that gave into his hatred, who gave into trying to get powerful the easy way, who gave into doing literally whatever he was going to need to get his way. And Naruto was the one that never was going to give up on doing it the right way, the way of always believing in and having hope. And so there's one reference that Naruto makes.
Too late. No, all right. You've already. Come on, man.
Again, it's anime. There's
run
so
really
much
fast, okay?
Okay.
Control
So
water.
pretty much what happens is this: a character switches Freaky Friday's two characters.
Okay.
So everyone is chasing after this character named Kawaki because they think he killed Naruto.
Okay.
All he did was hide him. Spoilers. Naruto spoilers.
Jesus.
And the whole time they're chasing after Kawaki, Boruto, Naruto's actual son, is also chasing after Kawaki, and he's trying to be like, what are you doing? And this third-party character, her name is Ida, is so in love with Kawaki that through her strong desire of wanting Kawaki to live because she knows he's about to be killed by everyone in the village, her subconscious desires makes everyone's memory of Boruto and Kawaki switch. So everyone thinks that every memory they had of Boruto actually happened with Kawaki.
Jesus
so when everybody shows up
Christ.
and Boruto thinks they're going to attack Kawaki, they all go after Boruto because in their heads, Boruto is now Kawaki. All those memories were replaced.
I cannot believe. I cannot believe.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is, like, again, the Naruto Sasuke thing was we could have been our situations swapped. And in this version, they actually swapped their situations. So her ability was able to change it so that way the entire world would have their memories kind of altered to believe that, oh, all my memories of him were actually of him.
So I think super speed is the best power. Jesus Christ.
I told you. I think we need to set rules if we're going to talk about powers.
Okay. Okay, I get it. All right. I shouldn't have said it can be from an anime or a manga. I should have just said from a comic book. God damn it.
They get so convoluted.
But you literally, I love it though that I can't believe I gave you an opportunity. I literally said, if you can explain this cleanly and quickly, I will let you use this. And then you explained the plot of an entire Naruto episode or Boruto episode for 5 minutes. Because now we got to talk about this. That is not the best power. People are robbing a bank and they've got guns to heads of civilians and there's people. What is that power? What do you do? You've got 5 minutes. They're about to fucking kill all these people and steal that money.
Okay, so in that case, there's other portions that that is one of the things this power does.
Pick another power. I'm not.
Okay. I'll pick this power. I think Itachi's Tsukuyomi is the coolest power because with it, a look in your eyes and he can entirely control everything. He makes you perceive time as quickly or as slowly as he wants.
Okay.
And everything happens in your head. So
I love you, buddy.
He made somebody, live out a lifetime in a picosecond.
I just want you to know, there's no
I
hate.
tried.
No, okay, that's good. That's good. I can wrap my mind around that one. It's like mind control, but like on an nth degree, you know? I get it.
It's mind perception control.
Yes. Which is too heady for us Western folk out here. We need just mind control. You can make us walk around and do our bidding. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I was hoping this is my intention of this question was for us to have a heated debate about which one would be better than the other one, but I don't think I'm literally crying from laughing so hard. I'm like tearing up. I don't even think I have it in me to try to argue why super speed is better than the Tsukuyomi or whatever the hell it's.
I mean, at that point, it's all relative to the user. Because if you're fast enough to avoid somebody's direct eye contact,
That's what
then
I'm saying. And like, does super speed mean you can move with rapid eye movement, like quick eye? Because then you just avoid eye contact at superhuman speed. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because this seems so pointless now. One of the points I was gonna make was that with super speed, you don't need as much super strength because a super fast punch is just as good as a really strong punch.
And then I'm like, here's a mental ability that has nothing to do with physical force at all.
Yeah. I was like, I even thought maybe you'd throw invisibility, flying, like, normal powers, but it's all good.
No,
it's all good,
that's
man.
why I was like,
What's so funny is I listen to I'll listen to other podcasts sometimes. I'll shout one out. There's one called The Basement Yard. And I'm not they have a big following, so by no means am I like discovering some underground podcast here, but when I listen to them, there's these moments where there's very heated moments. Like obviously they're best friends and you can tell that it's just like that they're like blowing off steam but also like just joking with each other, and every time I hear those moments, I always think to myself, like, man, me and Mitchell, we never do that. We don't get to those points in our podcast like that. And then I remember the times that you go on your Naruto rants, and then I'm always like, all right, let's
rein this in.
Oh, it's too funny, man. This is why I'm glad we have this, though. I love this. I also wrote down that it's EDC weekend. That's the only other thing I had. I have nothing to say about that.
Oh, yeah.
There's people partying a couple miles away from me. They're going nuts. Marshmallow's USB died during his set. Did you see that clip?
No, RIP to the USB.
Yeah. Is that another DJ or is that? But no, yeah, he was playing music, and I think it was only, I may be wrong, but I think it was only like 10 or 15 minutes into his set, and just the entire like audio started glitching out. It was like, and then just stopped, and he goes, all these tracks are dead. Okay, well, all right, let me go figure it out, and then just never came back out.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't have a backup. And it started this whole conversation amongst DJs of having like, well, you need a backup. And it's like, well, I shouldn't be expected to have a backup. Like, come on, man, I already have all my music on it. And yeah, it's pretty funny.
Do you use a backup when you've performed? Or do you have a backup?
I brought a backup once. And I've never needed it so far. The only time I've ever, like, my only experience with something like that is forgetting a pair of headphones, and that freaked me the fuck out, dude. Because I was the first performer, too. So, like, there was nobody already up there that I was like, hey, if you just leave your headphones up there, can I use them? Like, so I was like, I'm on in 20 minutes, and I'm running around the Hard Rock, like, hey, bro, do you have an extra pair of headphones, dude?
Bro, if you would have texted me, I would have ran to the nearest store and grabbed you a pair.
I'm just using these, like, $8, like, fucking, what are they, QVC, like, headphones. Hey, whatever works, man. Whatever works.
Right?
That's hilarious. Oh, yeah. Yeah, R.I.P. Marshmallow. Hardly knew ye. Thanks for ruining electronic music. Anyway.
Shots fired.
I don't know. Do you got anything else you want to talk about, or you just want to jump into the movie talk today?
I think I'm ready for some movie talk.
All right, yeah. Yeah, it's a little quiet over in the Neon Valley Discord right now. Well, actually, I meant we have a official Discord now, so it is not under the Skorge Discord anymore. There is an official server for just Neon Valley. I did make that today.
You did not send me the invite.
I did not, because it as of right this second, it's not officially ready. But by the time this episode goes up, yeah.
Oh, I see, one of those future science situations.
Those the time rifts. We learned all about those in Southland Tales in episode 10.
I lost education.
That episode comes out tomorrow morning, by the way. I'm really excited.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a doozy.
No, my God, Southland Tales just made me totally lose my train of thought again. Oh, God. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
We're about to get into the movie.
Yeah, I feel like I was probably saying something else, but who cares? At
Oh,
this
were
point.
you setting something up?
No. Oh, Discord.
Discord, not that cord, but this one.
All right, Joseph, cut all that out. Yes, there's an official Neon Valley Discord now, so I will link that in the description of this video. Please join it. Even if you're already in the Skorge Discord, I would appreciate it if you headed over to that official Neon Valley one. It'll help just keep everything kind of all together. And we have our subreddit, r/Neon Valley Pod. We have our Twitter is up and running at Neon Valley Pod. I almost made it Neon Valley Boys. I sat on that screen for like 5 minutes. But I thought consistency was better. It's better for us because then we could just tell people Neon Valley Pod is basically like everything we route them to.
Yeah. No, I think that works.
So yeah, it's been a little quiet over there. Oh yeah, that's the word I brought. It's been a little quiet over there. We need some questions, guys. Drop those hot burning questies. Some fun topics. You never know. We always appreciate it.
Questies for the testes.
Oh, the four testes. That's the name. That should be the name of our podcast, the Four Testes. And then one of us goes through a horrible accident. We become the Three Testes.
Oh, so you have 4?
Is your math not mathing, Mitchell? Oh wait.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh wait.
Just do it.
All right, we this week are talking about my suggested movie, The Big Lebowski.
The biggest.
Right, I believe 1996. Why did I do this to myself? I had the webpage up. 1998. Yep. So the 1998 classic Big Lebowski. I won't even say cult classic. I think this is one of those movies where almost anyone, you can ask your grandma, you can ask your sister, you can ask your uncle, you can ask your redheaded stepchild, you can ask your pharmacist, you can ask your dentist. How long are you going to let me go?
I was impressed. I was like, all right, keep going. Yeah, no, Big Lebowski, big ups. I see why it's popular. I have thoughts on it, but
okay. All right. Well, we're gonna talk about those thoughts right now, my friend. Before I let you go on your thing, I want to point out that we usually suggest movies that one of us has seen. So like for me suggesting this, usually it's like, oh, I've seen this movie, I want you to see it. But it's funny, I watched this when I was very young with my dad, and rewatching it now, I felt like I never saw it.
To you, it was like a brand new movie again.
Yeah, and I think it's because when I was younger, I kept confusing it with another movie that's about bowling. It's called Kingpin. And it came out like a few years before. It's got Woody Harrelson. Okay.
That came up when I was searching for the Big Lebowski.
Really? Yeah. I think it's something about my childhood brain like combined those movies, because that movie has like Bill Murray and he's like this real goofy character with like a rose ball, and part of me was like, is he gonna show up in this? I don't remember. Like But yeah, no, it was incredible, dude. So yeah, give me some of your thoughts going into it. What'd you think?
So right off the bat, I liked when it opened, and it was by a working title production.
Yeah, great name, isn't it? Yeah,
great name. I even put just great opening. Their kind of little opening there they had before the movie actually started, I thought was a fun way to get you into it.
Yeah, the Western kind of style. Film noir opening, you know, like, oh, you're probably wondering what's going on here, you know. Yeah, it's very but not too campy. Like, it almost doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like it's being goofy about it. It kind of feels genuine.
Yeah, no, the narration, and I think it was done well. It was clearly done well.
Yeah, and I really like. I'm glad you brought up the narration, because that was one of the first big laughs I had, was when he just kept repeating. Something that makes a man, or something like that, and then he just kept repeating, and then he goes, I lost my train of thought. I don't.
Yeah, I was like, where? I was like, okay, at least this is already having fun with itself, right? It's not trying to be too serious with this kind of narration. So I was a fan, and then Danny, you're out of your element. There was a lot of Danny lines.
Oh,
that
Donnie.
I thought were just. Or Donnie, yeah.
Well,
Donnie,
they had
out
really
of your
thick,
element.
like North like, or Midwestern accents. Like, they kept saying bar. Do you notice that? When he would say, like, when he was talking to that Sean Elliott character, the cowboy, when he kept saying, like, sometimes the bar will eat you, or you'll eat the bar, or whatever it was. Like,
oh, yeah.
I had subtitles on. They were saying bear. Like, bear. Like, but when he kept saying it, they kept saying bar. And I was like, what?
Yep. Yeah, that, But just all the one-liners to Donnie,
Dude,
and I was also just like, man, what a stellar cast for that trio.
Yeah, no, John Goodman, within the first minute he was on screen, I was enthralled. Like, he was hilarious, dude. Like,
that, I've never seen John Goodman play a character that made me feel like he stopped being John Goodman and that was just an actual person.
Yeah, because John Goodman has such a sweet vibe to him, especially after, like, Roseanne.
Father kind of vibe, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that he totally dissolved himself to the point where I almost forgot who it was as an actor for a second. Like, for a second in my head, I was like, this movie's too old for that to be Kevin James. Who the fuck? And I was like, oh, it's fucking John Goodman.
That's funny, because if it was shot today, I could see Kevin James playing that character.
Yeah, I think he could pull it off. Yeah, no, John Goodman was incredible. The Donnie shit, you're out of your element. And this movie's so quotable. I never realized, like, of course everybody says the dude abides thing, but there's, like, some great quotes in this movie.
Oh yeah, I think there's better quotes than just that.
Yeah.
And I'll say, okay, so going into this movie, because I've never seen it, I haven't seen clips of it, I had no idea. I thought that the dude was going to be this, like, what I thought the movie was going to be was he was this bowling pro that everyone kind of idolized, and he takes someone under his wing and teaches him, and it just, like, to learn to chill, and life is not going to be as like rushed and slowed down. I didn't realize, like, he was going to be the focal point of the movie in terms of, like, his growth and all the situations we get into. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a very different kind of movie.
Yeah, because it's almost a film noir film. Like, you know, you're trying to piece together a mystery. He's almost like a hired detective, basically, you know. But
Yep.
He's so aloof about it. That's kind of where the comedy comes in. Because I think I even read the director and writer of this was actually making a parody of an old 50s, I believe, film noir movie about people trying to cover up a murder and, like, a kidnapping. But he almost did it from the angle of, like, what if you were watching this film noir from the putz's angle? Like, instead of seeing it from either the person getting kidnapped or the person trying to get the kidnapper back, you're watching it from the angle of the idiot who's hired as the middleman or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, it's great because there's still a lot of very smart elements in it upon being a kind of silly stoner comedy. It's like an elevated stoner comedy, you know?
Yes.
There's literally a dude, where's my car moment.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Did you notice that? Yeah, it's like I was like, wait, shit. I was like, I wonder if that movie was, like, inspired from this scene or something, you know?
Right. Yeah. So I guess also to kind of introduce, like, where we're at, we have the dude.
Yes.
That is
Jeff
John
Bridges.
Lebowski.
Jeff Bridges.
What's his first name?
Jeff. It's Jeff.
Jeff Lebowski, yeah. So because of his name being the same name as a millionaire that owes people money, he has hired goons show up to his house to shake him down. He makes a really good point, which I don't know why they didn't notice this sooner. But he's like, do I look like a millionaire? And it's like a one-bedroom apartment that is not well furnished and again, the guys even kind of realize and go like, "Hey, does this sound right?"
Yeah, and they kind of like take a second, like.
So good back and forth in terms of witty comedy writing. And then I loved how this rug became like such a focal point. I even wrote down like another great Walter comment was that rug really tied the room together.
Yeah, no, because the dude kept just saying that. He was like, "Man, it ties the room together." You know, he's like, "Fucking A, it does." Like, yeah, the whole focal point of the rug being his like main reasoning behind it. He doesn't care about the girl. He doesn't really care about the money. He just wanted his fucking rug.
Yeah, that's all he wanted. I did love how after his initial meeting with the millionaire, Jeff Lebowski, didn't go well. He's like, yeah, he told me to pick out any rug I wanted, and was able to take a rug.
Yeah, and it's ingenious too, because he almost it's that thing where he almost knew, like, this guy's so rich he won't even fucking notice for a little while if I take a rug. You know, like, he's so up his own ass. Fuck him.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there's a. Oh yeah, but since he's confused for this millionaire, he then, like you were saying, he confronts him to say, like, hey, can you at least replace my rug? And that's kind of what sets off this whole movie. Because he keeps saying a few times in the movie, says like, all I wanted was my rug, or like for someone to pay for my rug. Because if he had never gone to confront the millionaire, it just would have ended there. Like the case of mistaken identity would have been over.
Okay, that's another thing. This is where I'm going to start having questions, right? How are you just like a random Joe getting a meeting with a millionaire?
Well, I guess.
How did he get his phone number? Because he said he called him and set it up.
Well, remember, this is a time of Yellow Pages. You could literally just look up Jeff Lebowski in the Yellow Pages.
Oh, I guess, yeah. But still, like, why would he want to meet? I mean, he told him, he explained the whole situation. I guess unless because the very beginning he wasn't planning on using him because she was still around. So yeah, that's where I just didn't understand him even taking that initial.
Really? I mean, yeah, I guess it does seem a little outlandish, but I think it kind of plays into his character of just wanting to bring someone in to be more powerful than them, you know?
That makes sense. Yeah, and they do reference that his vanity is his biggest grudge.
Yeah. And he was like, everyone in this movie was so good. All of the acting was like top notch. Fucking John Turturro as the Jesus. Incredible.
Oh my god. The fact that he showed up in purple to start with, iconic.
Amazing. And what I love is that he was literally in the movie for maybe a total of 45 seconds, like a minute and a half, maybe. Like, because he was only in 2 scenes, but he's such a memorable character that, like, I love it. It's hilarious. He's great, but he does nothing in the movie, and he's not really any driving force. He's not, but it's a great little flair. It's that little, like, comedy that isn't too overbearing, you know?
Oh, also, when he walks in, like, the West Wing or wherever they take him, that, like, opera music that starts playing. Do you remember the one I'm talking about? The thing about opera is, like, you can't really, like, recite it because...
Are you talking about when he met up with the painter? And there was that weird chanting song that was playing that was really creepy?
No. It's when he first walks in to meet with the millionaire. There was this, like, opera anime.
Oh.
Not anime. The reason why I say it is because I actually recognize that same opera song. Oh, I think it's Requiem Arena. I don't know if that's the name of the anime or the actual song. Anyways, I had recognized that same opera song from an anime, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy how some of those older, like, classical songs are, and I mean, obviously it's because they're now part of public domains, but how they're still used today in new content that's created.
Yeah, no, that's true. I didn't even know. I'm trying to remember in the recesses of my brain which song it was, because I do remember it being recognizable, but I don't remember which one it was now. Yeah, no, the music. Speaking of which, the music choices in this is great. A lot of great kind of that late 70s folk rock, you know, Creedence, stuff like that.
I just realized I could have looked up the track list for the movie.
Very true. Very true. We do have the internet right in front of me. I literally have the IMDb page for Big Lebowski right in front of me.
Okay, it's probably this one. Gluck das mir Verbleb, which is by Wolfgang.
Is it the one that's like...
No.
Okay.
It's, See, now I have to find this. This is bothering me.
We can cut some of this out if you want to find it real quick.
Great song.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, set myself back up here. We should be good. All right. You know, the music in this was like top notch, great soundtrack. Get the vibe of the movie is really nice. Like, you know, even like cuz like aesthetically alone, not even story-wise or anything, but it's one of those movies that makes you feel comfy. Do you know what I mean? There's something very warm about all the tones. There's nothing really loud about the movie. It's just a very like chill movie.
Yeah, no, and I liked that the movie throws a lot at you. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no,
like
it does.
like for example, I right now could not tell you who the German people worked for. I'm still not entirely sure who they worked for.
Okay,
what?
So yes, there is a lot in this movie. I was actually gonna kind of ask you about that because there's a lot that this movie throws at you, but I, for the most part, never really felt overwhelmed or like I couldn't follow what was going on. Like I felt like the movie was eventually always going to tell me what the outcome was, you know?
Yeah.
Because like even that scene, like for example, that scene where he just wakes up and gets punched in the face and then has the first dream sequence of the movie.
Yeah, that for a second started to throw me off, and then I looked at it as like, this is again, it's a dream sequence, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, and
because I'll tell you, all the dancing in Southland Tales, that was not a dream sequence.
I'm so glad you
that was not
up.
a dream sequence. They just did that.
But it was technically a dream sequence, and that's the thing in Southland Tales. Remember, because he jabs drugs into his neck, and then it happens or whatever. But it's not conveyed well. The way that this movie does it, like the transitions, the kind of like atmospheric tonal shifts, like the very clear dreamlike vibe, and they always have transitions of like he either gets knocked out or he's drugged or something happens where it's like, yeah, this is where you would have this kind of weird moment, you know? It's why it works in this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but that scene where he gets punched and has that dream sequence, when he wakes up and like the rug is missing and stuff, I was a little confused and didn't even really quite because then he just goes right back to the millionaire. Like I thought they were related somehow, like the punching and the millionaire, but they weren't. So that was a little confusing. But then later when he meets the millionaire's daughter, the painter, she says, "Oh, by the way, sorry for the punch in the jaw or whatever." And then for me, even though I probably already should have pieced that together, I was like, oh, of course, she's the one that broke into the house and like the movie at least helps you out, even if you are having a little trouble following along, you know?
Yeah, it was one of those, I never felt entirely lost. There was just maybe pieces that I was like, I don't understand where this fits necessarily. Yeah,
so, okay, my understanding of the German people or Swedish, they were German, right?
I wasn't sure if they were German, but they called them German in the movie, so that's what I assumed.
But I wasn't sure if they kept doing that because Walter has a very like prejudiced mindset, so he was just like Nazis immediately.
Again, that's why I was like, I don't even know if they're necessarily German.
Yeah, because I know this is a dumb joke, but I like it how they all ordered lingonberry pancakes.
Yep.
I don't know why, but that made me laugh. I was like, that's pretty funny. But no, so my interpretation of that, or what I at least think was happening, was he worked for the millionaire, or at least was like, no, wait, he didn't work for the millionaire. Okay, hold on. I guess I need to kind of check my thoughts. So he was the drunk one in the pool, right? At the beginning, correct?
Yes,
because that's where he first learns about him, and that was hilarious because she's like, oh no, don't worry, he'll be fine. He's a nihilist, and he's like, oh man, he's a nihilist. Like,
the whole nihilist thing like became such like it. Walter's personality of just like having very specific things he cared so much about.
Oh yeah, his character was, and everyone's so consistent with their character. They never. I know that might seem like a weird thing to bring up, but a lot of movies and writers have trouble with that, where people will do things out of the ordinary, or like, or I should say out of their character, just to help the story along. Walter is just a pure driving force that is always Walter, and it always fucks up situations or helps, you know what I mean? Like, it's just his character.
I was gonna say, there was one point where I was like, I think if this movie had a message, it was about how important it is to pick your friends and how toxic people can be.
Right? It's gleaming a message from this movie is kind of tough. Like, not that I think that they're like we've talked about before. You don't need to leave a movie with some kind of long-lasting message or some shit like that. Like, they can just be well written stories from beginning to end, and that's all it is. But this movie is a little hard to, because literally from the beginning to the end, like, nothing happens to the dude. Like, because he basically is in the same exact position he's in, just without a car, I guess. And his friend died. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is no, like, he didn't learn anything. He didn't grow. He didn't, like, it was just a pure, like, well, that happened.
And that's one thing where I wasn't sure if they were going to give him that kind of character arc, but something about, like, this wasn't a kid, right? This is someone who's been there, done stuff, and, like, has experienced life. And for that reason, it was more of like, this is just who he is. And I don't know if maybe that was to try to show that this is just who he is as a person, and nothing is going to change it.
Yeah, that, like, you know that there's actually an entire religion that has been built around this movie?
What?
I'm not joking. It's called Dudism. And of course, it's, like, slightly tongue-in-cheek. I'm sure that there are some people out there who, like, follow it to the T and, like, believe it as their religion or whatever. But it was kind of this movement after the movie came out for people to just, like, be chill. Like, the idea was, like, let life come at you, which is kind of what the movie does. It's like, it's about a guy who literally just lets life happen to him, and then the very few times that he tries to actually do something about it, it actually doesn't work out, usually. Like, nothing means anything, and it's all meaningless. And, like, I think that might even be the point of the film, is that, like, well, it's like nihilism. It's literally nihilism. Like, no, nothing really matters, you know? Like,
yeah. Interesting. But yeah, they talk about that a whole bunch, so... makes sense.
Because there's a scene, and I might be overanalyzing this, but it feels like a movie that wants to be analyzed, you know? It feels like it's a movie, and it's written by the Coen brothers, who have done a lot of very well-written and heady films, you know, over the years. So it's asking to be talked about and analyzed a little bit, and there is a scene where he's talking with the porn producer. Right. And oh, by the way, I'll try to get back to making sense of the German people. But there's the scene where he's talking with the owner of the porn company or whatever. Was it a Treehorn? Right?
Yeah, Treehorn.
And when Treehorn's on the phone with someone, you know, he's kind of quiet. He, you know, goes away for a second and mumbling, and he writes something down on a piece of paper and then goes upstairs. And the one time in the movie that the dude actually tries to be like a sleuth and do something towards learning about this mystery, he goes over and etches the engraving of what the guy wrote, and it's just a doodle of a guy with a penis. And that's right. And that was the moment for me that I felt like, so this is just meaningless. Like his efforts are meaningless, basically. Like, even when he tried the one thing to actually be a detective and try,
it didn't matter what he was gonna do.
Yeah, nope. He was totally not subject to this plot at all. Like, no matter what he did. And I love that aspect, because I noticed about 3/4 of the way through the movie, it's such an interesting idea that he knows like 3 different sides of this kidnapping story. Like, he's literally a detective. He's done incredible detective work. He got in with the father to learn about like the missing, you know, like the missing wife or whatever. Or not the father, I'm sorry, the husband for the missing wife. And then it's like, then he met with the daughter who had her own conspiracies. And then he met with, like, he was meeting all of these different angles, almost accidentally becoming a detective, you know?
Oh, yeah. The whole... And I kind of liked how he kept... I felt like playing dumb, but was actually like not.
Yeah,
Like it came off like he was playing dumb, but he was really just trying his best.
yeah, and I think there was almost moments where I think he forgot who knew what, because he would kind of like come into a situation and be like, like one of my favorite scenes is when he gets into the limo. He gets dragged out of the first limo and then put into the second limo.
That one, okay, that scene killed me.
Fucking hilarious. And then when he's in the limo, he just keeps saying, he's like, "No, I got some new information, man. I got some new information. Everything's changed." And like and you can tell in that moment he doesn't know how much to tell him. The Big Lebowski, like.
I loved how he kept explaining things. There's a lot of ins and outs.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like he kept explaining things like someone who doesn't fully understand what's going on, like the same way he answered like when they would ask him, "Are you unemployed?" and he was like, "What does that even mean?" Like what? Unemployed is kind of like, yeah, he was always like dodging answers, so it felt like he was buying time, and he would always just be like, "Yeah, there's a lot of ins and outs. It's above your head, man. It's above I don't even know what's going on." Like. To play in a theme, sorry, I want to let you speak in a sec, but I just wanted to say the Donnie character, I think he was a perfect amplification, if that's a word, of what the movie was getting at, because he kept coming into conversations halfway through and being like, "Hey, what are you guys talking about?" And Walter would be like, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're you're out of your element. You don't know what we're talking about." And then Donnie would try to join the conversation, but he would only have half of the information. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that felt like what this movie was trying to do, like with literally the Lebowski character, the dude himself, where he kept coming into conversations only knowing half of the context. So like he was Donnie basically, like, because I loved the scene where Donnie came over and he's like, they're talking about going to the place of Walter comes into the theater and tells him, he's like, "Hey, I found the house where we can get the kid, the one who stole your car and stuff." And he's like, Donnie's half listening and then turns around and goes, "Hey, did you say In-N-Out?" And then he's like, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie." It's like, they got good burgers. And like, he's just not.
Oh, yeah, he's still trying to just go with it. Just like, I'm just trying to be involved.
Yeah, exactly. And then he fucking dies.
I was still shocked. I didn't think they were going to actually kill him.
I know. I didn't think when they were sitting in that office, I thought that was like a lawyer's office. I didn't realize it was a morgue until they started saying like, "So what do you want to do with the body?" And so I was like, "What?"
Whoa, dude! As soon as I read the wall in the back, I'm like, "Is this for a morgue?"
It totally went over my head. I even read the wall and everything, and was like, "Huh, that's a weird thing to put in like a courthouse or something." Okay. Anyway, all right. Sorry. So I know I went off on a little tangent there about my thoughts.
No.
What did you want to say?
Yes. Okay. So, I also wanted to say shout out. They played the Hotel California covered by Gypsy Kings, and big fan of Gypsy Kings. So
yeah.
Shout out to Gypsy Kings.
Yeah, that was a great moment. Oh, that was the introduction to Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, was that?
Yep. It's the.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Where he like licks the ball and stuff, and like.
Yep. What else do we have here? I can get you when Walter said I can get you a toe by 3:00.
Dude, oh my God, the toe shit.
Yeah, no, I was surprised by how much I liked it, and like for 2 hours it didn't drag on at any point. Like it was very well paced.
Yeah, I will agree. There is like near the end, there is kind of that feeling of like, all right, how much longer is this going to go on? Because you know that the plot kind of wrapped up, especially like with the whole Donnie stuff. Like once Donnie died, I was like, man, how much longer is this going to go on? I wasn't really sure, But that was it, pretty much. That just happens, and then the movie ends. And it ends on a beautiful note with Sam Elliott having his little outro.
Yeah.
Who that character was supposed to be, I don't know. Was he real?
Like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Because how did he... Because I mean, sure, there are a lot of people in this movie that kind of just show up. You know, it's a pretty like character heavy film. Like, there's the detective. I thought that was a great like kind of red herring. The Volkswagen that's following him the whole time.
Oh yeah, because the whole time I was like, who is that? What do they get out of this? What's going on here?
I mean, I hate to keep bringing this up, but it really did. It did what Southland Tales wanted to do. You know, it had interweaving stories with multiple people.
Yeah.
That all kind of puts you in different directions, but then by the end you're supposed to be like, oh, this is where all this was going. You know, like obviously Southland Tales was more of a quote unquote epic, like it was trying to make a bigger story, but having that kind of weird imagery, like we were saying, the dance sequence and the musical numbers, like those scenes don't feel out of place in this movie, even though this movie takes place entirely in reality.
Right. Again, this isn't like some sci-fi world. Like they want you to feel like, no, this is the real world that we live in.
Yeah. That, which is even funnier because you would think it would work better in Southland Tales because that's not even reality. And it somehow works better in a movie like this that's grounded in reality.
Yeah. Yeah, you would assume.
Do you have any more notes?
Yes, I have. Oh, how have you not purchased a gun by now for protection?
Oh, he's too... That's the dude, man. That would be too unchill. You know, like...
Bro, the amount of people that have just broke... Oh, and then when he sets the chair up, but it's facing the wrong way, so when he opens the door, it falls forward in.
Dude,
like little moments like that, I'm not gonna lie. I was actually very, like...
And then
I thought they did
over,
well.
And then later he trips over that wood block that he put there himself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's there's like great moments in this movie. Like the comedy almost like never stops, but it doesn't feel overbearing. It's just very quick and snappy, you know. A lot of the dialogue. Speaking of guns, when Walter pulled that shit out early in the movie, that I was like, whoa.
Oh, I thought for sure, I'm like, he's going to jail, right? Like, that's...
And they skirt it so beautifully because, like, obviously you have to have some kind of connection of, or what do you call it? Not separation of disbelief. What's the term I'm trying to think of? But you know what I'm saying, where it's like, you have to kind of let some things go because why wouldn't he be arrested? Like,
suspending disbelief?
Suspension of disbelief. That's right. Suspending disbelief. Yeah, you have to do that, of course, a little bit because it's like, yeah, why? Like, there's no way that somebody wouldn't have pointed him out. Like, oh, he just walked outside. He was the one with the gun, you know, because there's the joke of the cops showing up, but it's already after they walked outside. Great.
Yeah, I did like that they at least had it like the cops still showed up. Stuff is still happening.
Yeah. And like they get like all that really happens is they get like a demerit on their league, the bowling league. God, this movie's so good, man. I really love it because it's very easy to absorb. Like you even said, describing the plot from the beginning is pretty easy. Like it's a guy a mistaken identity movie. They mistake him for a millionaire. The millionaire's wife gets kidnapped and they need his help to get her back. And then it devolves into madness from there. And that's the plot, you know? But there's so much more to it, you know, when you watch it.
Yeah. No, it did a really good job. The chair prop. Oops, I already said that one. Oh, when he meets with the cop, the chief of police in Malibu, he does ask for a lawyer. That's the only thing I want to say is, and I guess we can, you know, give it that he let him off pretty much with just an ass beating. Yeah. But he did ask for a lawyer.
He did have the wherewithal. Yeah. That was a great scene. Because that was right after the second dream sequence, let's call it, or maybe third actually dream sequence. That was basically almost like a porno starring him and the daughter of the millionaire.
I wasn't sure if that was supposed to imply that like he was drugged, and they made a movie while he was drugged up, without him realizing, and that's how they were going to make their million.
Wow. Well, even if that didn't end up being how they made their million, that's not a bad theory of like what happened there. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's what happened, but man, that's a good point. That's true because he is the director of pornos.
And like he doesn't mess with him after that, right?
No, unless the German guy. I think that's where they come in. I think the German guys worked for the director. And that's right, because we never really followed that up. So all I was going to say is that I think that the German guys, basically, they saw an opportunity. Like, the daughter was kidnapped, or at least missing. You know what I mean? And since they saw that opportunity, they thought, okay, we know the $1 million is out there. We know that he has the money because they think he stole it. You know, like, that's all the Germans know is that they think he stole it and that there really is some kind of, or that he thinks there is a kidnapping going on, you know? So yeah, I think it was just them trying to seize the opportunity of not fully understanding the situation, you know? Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard for me to articulate, but I think, again, it was trying to relay the message of the movie that they only had a specific amount of information or context about the situation, so they were trying to seize their opportunity, but when you pull out to the bigger picture, they had no chance of pulling it off. You know, like that there was zero chance of them ever. They were just a byproduct. They literally nothing.
Gotcha.
Because I don't think, like, for example, I don't think the toe, But
oh wait, no, that the toe came from the Germans, so the toe had to be affiliated with
the millionaire,
or it could have been her. But okay.
But no,
okay,
because here's the only thing though: is the millionaire knew that she wasn't actually kidnapped, but did get the toe, so he must have been in on it with the Germans. Because why? Because like, if he didn't think that she was actually kidnapped, why would he be so upset about the toe, or would there even be a toe in the first place?
No, I'm saying I think she's the one, Bunny, that worked with the German. No.
Oh no, did you miss that? Bunny was just out of town. Bunny had no idea what the fuck was going on this whole time.
I saw her come back. I thought that she was still in on it, and then she just got bored because it was taking too long.
No.
Gotcha.
No, I think from their implication, because like when he comes in, the dude is like, "Where was she?" And then like the butler character kind of guy, the assistant, is like, "She was out of town. She just got back in. Didn't tell anybody where she was gonna be." So like, yeah, she had no fucking clue what was going on this whole time. And the millionaire took that opportunity of her just disappearing to create a fake kidnapping. So that's why I'm thinking the Germans must have been in on it because he had the fake toe. The millionaire's the one that gave the dude the toe. Not fake, it's real, technically. But it's not Bunny's.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense now. But again, it's one of those, I think when you have a lot of elements, things like that can sometimes get missed.
Yeah. Because I think from their perspective, I don't know, this might be too convoluted, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't... Because I think what it was is, from the Germans' perspective, they were just trying to cheat the dude out of $1 million because they thought, shit. Because they must have thought the $1 million was real, obviously, in the suitcase.
Right, yeah, of course. Yeah, that was the whole big thing about it was...
Yeah.
Was...
So they obviously weren't... Okay, so they weren't in on it, but... wow. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I might have to rewatch it to really fully understand that connection. I might have missed that. Yeah. I thought I did understand it, but now I'm questioning it. Interesting.
Right? Like, again... There were so many elements. I think it did a good job, but there wasn't any one moment I felt where now I know how everything, like, it all fits together well now. It was more of,
Yeah.
okay, that all makes sense.
I could see that, yeah, because I thought I had that moment, you know, like the reveal in the like the confrontation between Walter the dude and the Big Lebowski. That moment did feel like everything was kind of wrapped up because you figured out like, okay, this is where she was the whole time. This is where they weren't really kidnapped. It was all just a ploy from the millionaire, and he knew that the dude was a fuck up. So he knew that he could blame him for fucking it up even if he did do the job. Like, he fully expected him to just throw out the briefcase filled with the fake money or whatever, you know, the yellow pages, and even then still blame him. Because, like, I think that was a part of the movie too, right? Where the millionaire didn't even know that they sent out a fake $1 million.
Yep. That they were gonna... Yeah, he thought that they just had what he gave them. What do you call it? The ringer?
Yeah, the ringer. Yeah, I kept calling it the ringer. Oh, man. Yeah, so I think he didn't even know they threw out the underwear. So the plan from the beginning was to set the dude up to make it look like, well, you fucked this up, and now she's gone, and he was able to steal $1 million from the fund. Oh, okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the Germans didn't know that the $1 million wasn't physical and that he just took it out from the fund straight into, and thought that, well, if the dude fucked up and lost it, now we can go take it. I don't know.
I still love the idea that somebody did send goons after that 15-year-old kid.
That poor fucking 15-year-old kid. I mean, he did steal a car. Which is fucked up.
But as soon as he started beating up that car, I was like, that's not his car.
Yeah, I knew. I felt it too. Like, I thought at first, like, even leading up to it, I was like, yeah. But once like the second or third hit happened, I was like, oh fuck, this is going on for too long, and the kid isn't reacting.
Yeah, I was like that. He's getting played right now.
Yeah, which was good. Which, again, he didn't really get played. He kind of played himself. Like, Walter's just a hothead. You know, like, he's mostly been right the whole time, like, in a way. But when he's wrong, he's really wrong. That's what and I love that, too.
He's really wrong sometimes.
Well, and I love that, too, because I even said that not realizing how his catchphrase is how he just kept saying, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yes, in just about every situation, you're wrong.
Yeah, but he's that perfect, like, character that, like, because we all kind of know a person like that, where they use the very base definition of something or the literal situation that's happening, and then being like, well, am I wrong? Because, like, he was like, well, listen, if we keep the $1 million, we have $1 million. Am I wrong? And it's like, no, you're not wrong, but we're fucked if we do that.
Yeah, it's like, but they're gonna come after us.
Yeah, or like how he kept saying early in the movie, he's like, well, there's rules, am I wrong? And he's like, no, you're not wrong, but you're a fucking asshole.
Yep. Oh, also, why did they drop the ferret in the water? That was mean.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, that's, I know, right? I was thinking that too. I think there's different laws now about what you can do with animals in movies. And that happened after, like, the 90s. I think, like, early 2000s are when they changed those laws. So they would not be able to do that now. You couldn't do that to an animal.
And I like to believe that they didn't really, but also just for, like, what purpose did it serve? Like,
well, I think it was just supposed to, like, scare... obviously, it's just supposed to, like, intimidate him, like, oh, there's a wild animal, because ferrets are very aggressive, actually. Like, I don't know if you know that or not, but they're very, like, feral animals. Like, they, like, bite and claw a lot, apparently.
Oh man.
But again, I think the joke is that they're German or Swedish, and that they picked the weirdest possible animal. Like, I think there's a little bit of a little bit of European jabbing going on there.
Yeah, because that's what I was kind of thinking. As part of this was just kind of poking fun at people that were foreign a little bit. Not where that was the point of the movie, just like for that kind of
Yeah. And it's funny you bring that up too, because I loved that beginning scene where the dude kept calling him Chinaman, and then Walter goes, by the way, Chinaman is not the accepted nomenclature now, okay? It's Asian American.
Again, out of everyone, he was the one that made that comment.
Yeah. And then I loved, oh my God. And this is so insensitive, but the context, the movie makes it where it's okay. It's funny. That's the point of it, is that it's meant to be absurd. But when he goes to meet the millionaire and the millionaire says, yeah, I got my legs blown off by some fucking Chinaman in Korea.
Yeah. Again, it was also made...
It's
not in 2020.
No, but again, I don't think that that's that bad, because the joke is that he's an out of touch, old, shitty douchebag asshole millionaire, and just the phrasing, I like, to me the sentence, a Chinaman in Korea, is like the funniest fucking thing ever. Like, that's because it's so ignorant. It's like so ignorant you can't even think, like, are you even racist? Like, are you just dumb? Like, what are you
And the answer is yes.
And the answer is yes to all the above. C. Yeah, no, man. All right. Do you have anything else you wanted to say? More? Do you want to take the mic?
The only other thing that I noticed was the ending cliff that they're at reminded me of Best Friends by Tommy Wiseau.
Oh man, that's so fucking funny that you said that, because it did for me too. And I think they're the same cliffs. I actually think they are. Because they're in LA, and that's where he filmed Best Friends.
And that's where I was like, maybe. Did
you notice too that when they were showing the porn with the German guy, that he sounded a lot like Tommy Wiseau when he came into the room, and he was like, "I'm here to fix your pipes," or whatever, like your cables.
Yeah, that. Oh my gosh! Actually, no. The more that now I hear it a lot more that you said it.
It was something about the hair. It was the long, stringy hair over the face with a chiseled face saying like a weird European accent that isn't quite right. Like, yeah, all I was thinking of was Tommy Wiseau. So it's really funny that you had a different Tommy Wiseau. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Mitchell, by the way, The Room. I didn't tell you. I wanted to save it for the podcast. Bob Odenkirk, the guy who played Saul in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Didn't see that.
But do you know who the actor is though? Hold on, let me bring up a picture real quick.
Bob Odenkirk, the one who made Jimmy Neutron.
No. I mean, I guess you could Google it real quick if you want to look up it about. I can post a picture in the chat real quick. Hold on.
Gotcha.
This guy, he's been in like comedies, and he's been in like series. He was in like that movie Nobody that was in recently, I think.
Oh, yeah, I recognize him.
Okay, so him and a small group of actors out in LA remade the entire movie of The Room.
Oh my gosh.
With him playing the starring role as Tommy. That's another thing I didn't even mention. Oh, I think July 23rd, The Room is going to be in theaters.
No way.
Yeah, it's an anniversary for the movie. I think it's like a 20-year anniversary or something like that for the release.
Yeah, we're seeing that.
Yeah, June 27th. It's going to be in 3 different theaters out here. Hell yeah. We got to go see it, dude. Okay. I guess that's a clean place to wrap up. We started talking about a different movie, so I guess.
All right, yeah. So let's go into our review, or not our review, our rating.
Yeah, let's get into our final ratings. Why don't you go first? I'm interested to hear what you got to say.
I am going to give this a 7 because I think it did really well. I think there was a few things that it didn't necessarily finally tie together, but overall it was a positive movie. It's something I'd recommend, and I see why it had such a big following. All
right. That's a little lower than I was expecting from how you were talking about it, I'll be honest. I guess I can see... Yeah, there is still like a lack of understanding in the movie a little bit, and with it all tying together, you know what I mean? So yeah, yep. I definitely get that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I had so much fun watching this movie that I fully understood why it's such a classic. I was never bored. I laughed harder than I've laughed at a movie in quite some time. All the acting was perfect. Some of the cinematography was like beautiful. The transitions from like the dream sequences to reality were really, really nice in some of the shots. Like that shot of him running away from the scissor clacking Germans, and then it transitions into him running in the middle of the road. Like that was really cool.
Yeah.
As ridiculous as what I just described sounds, the scene was really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and I might even be leaning a little more towards a 10 out of 10. I'm probably gonna watch it again, and I may change my review. Not sure. Oh, by the way, Mitchell, I want to send you this website real quick. You got to sign up for this. It's the one I mentioned before in a different one. It's called Letterboxd.
Letterboxd?
Yes, and it's basically just a place to... Oh, what the hell? Why is there an ad playing on my computer right now? There we go. It's basically just a website where you can keep track of movies that you've watched and put a rating for them. And I thought it's just a good way for anybody who like just joins the podcast or is interested in all our other like opinions. Like I've already posted all of our previous episodes and my ratings in my letterbox. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can like go back and see like what we've reviewed for other movies and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, this was a good week, man. I'm glad.
Please click on each image containing a Yoko.
Wait, what?
What the fuck is a...
Oh, dude,
I'm assuming it's this thing.
Yeah, dude, I think it's supposed to be a yo-yo. That's happened to me too. Now, I think they've literally outsourced all of CAPTCHA to AI. Like even down to like the messages they give you. Because yeah, I've gotten that too.
I had one that said, "Oh, match the shadow to the background," and it actually legitimately took me a while to figure out what it meant in the picture.
Yeah,
I failed the first 3 times.
That's what I'm saying. I think they've literally outsourced all of CAPTCHAs to AI. Because even the images are like AI images now. It's really weird. No, this was a good week, man. I'm glad we watched this movie. I think it was a nice little reprieve from the last couple weeks of movies.
Are you ready? Oh wait, no. I gave it my rating. Okay, so are you ready for your movie now?
Oh yeah. I'm always ready, Mitchell. Lay it on me. Lay it on me, baby.
Okay, so this is predicated on if you've seen this movie or not. Okay. Because if not, I have a second one.
Okay.
Have you seen Undercover Brother?
Let me look it up real quick. Okay, it's not the one I thought it was. No, I haven't seen this. Okay, I haven't seen this, but I know about it. A little bit.
Okay, that is going to be your movie to watch. I'm actually excited to rewatch that.
Wow, this is great. Yeah, this is... Oh, dude, I love this. I'm perfect. I'm so down for this. Yes, okay. Because you know what I thought this was for a second? I thought it was that stupid fucking movie that had Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell in it. Get Hard. That's what it was called.
Oh, no.
No, this looks right up my alley, which we'll get more into when we talk about the movie itself, I'm sure. But all right, hell yeah. All right, so next week we're going to be watching Undercover Brother, the 2002 comedy.